Do you like to break me down when I'm shattered on the ground? Are you happy? Are you happy? All I wanted was your love. Was I asking for too much? Are you happy? Are you happy? Do you like to break me down when I'm shattered on the ground? Are you happy? Are you happy? All I wanted was your love. Was I asking for too much? Are you happy? Are you happy? You break me down off the ground. You happy? You happy?
Hello my soul family, welcome to the Love Show. This is the Love Show Holiday Spectacular of the year of this year 2020. My name is Christie Ramirez and I'm your soul coach. So in today's Love Show, I want to talk about love. I asked you a questions. I asked you a love survey based on different questions that I feel that really determines the perspective that people have of love. So this year I asked you whether you were married, whether you were single, whether you were in a relationship, divorced, widowed, because that makes a difference. And believe it or not, there was actually an equal number that stated that they were in a relationship and that they were single. And the age varied a lot, so it has nothing to do with age. We realize that love in this day and age is to be much more profound, and we're all seeking that true love. And this is the kind of love that I want to talk about today. I'm not talking about the kind of love that we just seek to be in a stable relationship and then just live an ordinary normal life. No, because we want to live our best life ever. And as a soul coach, I also want to teach you how to attract the highest kind of vibrational love relationship possible. And like I always say, it always begins with self. So it's perfect timing that this show today that we're talking about is at the very end of the year, because as soon as this new year begins, we want to be ready for this love to step into our life. And we're going to get some spiritual guidance today from heaven and from our angels. But I also first want to just talk about what I feel through my observance of love is really needed for all of us. So when it comes to those couples, for example, who are in relationships, now it was a 50-50 between the people who said they were actually happy and the people who were not happy. So my first question, actually, I'm not going to interpret this, but my question is, why are you still in a relationship that's not really fulfilling you 100%? Because there's no time to waste with relationships that are not truly filling us up on a deep core, our heart, right? Because it's not enough to just put on this mask in the world and just not be afraid even of hurting the other people's feelings or afraid of the judgment of the outside world. A true spiritual love partnership has no judgments. A true spiritual love partnership is willing to do whatever it takes to speak their truth, to be with their beloved. And when it comes to your beloved, we all have that one other spiritual half. And that's the kind of love that I want to talk about today. Because chances are that if you're not happy, then that's not the relationship for you. And that's absolutely okay. It's nothing to be ashamed of. You're not a failure in relationship if you haven't found your one the first time. Because many people, it takes many years, many relationships to really find out what it is that they want. For some people, this is how it works. They actually learn first what they don't want so that they can truly discover what they do want. For others out there, very minimal, there are those that always knew what they wanted from day one. And those are the people that don't settle. And I would actually put myself in that category. because maybe that's why I'm single, right? But I am happier than ever being single. And this is where I'm here to tell you that, it's better to be single than in a relationship that's not really making you happy. Because when it comes to a love partnership affects your whole entire life, 80 to 90% of it, because they're around you. You're the most intimate with that person. So you need to be very discerning and meticulous with who you choose to be with as a romantic partnership in a union, because it is going to affect every other area of your life, either for the best or for the worst. It can propel you forward or it can set you back. And we're not allowing any more delays on our journey, right? Because as soon as 2021 comes, we're going to propel forward and we're going to keep moving and climbing up this mountain of living our highest quality life, of success, of health, of career, but also in love. And we need to make love a priority in order for us to truly value it, right? Because I see a lot of people as well not in a happy relationship because that's not on the top of their priority list. And I know that sounds harsh, but many people have different priorities. It could be their career, it could be their success, it could be just their self, or maybe they have children, or maybe for whatever the reason may be, that's just not on the top of their list. So they're willing to settle in the meantime. And that's holding them back, because let me tell you this quick answer. When you are with your ultimate beloved, everything else in your life will actually come magically together, synchronistically, gracefully, and effortlessly, as if the law of attraction magnetized it to you right away, as if by miracle. And the reason is because love is the highest vibration possible. So if we want to live a high vibrational life, then we need to be in this highest vibrational state of being and emotion and embody it from the inside out through love. But this is about true love and the highest kind of love possible that transcends all human distortions. And this spiritual love dynamic is truly possible in this physical realm, because when we think about this spiritual love, it seems ethereal, it seems out of reach, right? Because it seems so perfect. And actually what gets a lot in the way of people achieving this spiritual love is because they feel that they're not worthy of this perfect love. But let me tell you, if that's you thinking that, you are worthy of love, and you are worthy of the best kind of love, and you don't want to be basically that foolish enough to run away from the best thing in your life, right? That would be the most foolish thing that someone can do. And as a soul coach, I want to encourage you all to open your heart and truly acknowledge your self-value and self-worth, that you are worthy of true love. Because that's step one in attracting this love into our life in the first place. The second part of this process is being actually ready, healed from the inside out, healed from the past, because we're not going to bring any of that into the present. And when I'm speaking about the past, I'm talking about the emotions, past relationships, wounds caused by past partners, and all of these other things that can probably also stem from childhood. And we don't want to bring this into these relationships because, first of all, it will not be compatible and it will repel it. So if you want to do yourself a favor and you want to attract this highest vibration of love in this new year, then you need to do the work, the inner healing work. And that's where my New You Atomic Soul Coaching program comes into play. That's the purpose behind that program, is to prepare us for a true relationship, for our best life ever. And so that's a little bit of what I feel that as a collective we all need to work on individually to be more in this love vibration. And another guidance that's coming through is falling in love. Because this process of falling in love, there is actually a quote by William Shakespeare, and he said, "Love is blind." And we all know that saying, right? But little do you know that it actually was a quote from William Shakespeare in one of his poems. And I have a poetry class in my School of Light. If you want to become a member and learn all of this different kind of knowledge there that's ancient and that's spiritual, you definitely want to be a member. And so with this quote, "Love is blind," William Shakespeare couldn't be more right. Because at times, true love that's unconditional is blind. Because true love, in the sense that it's your spiritual beloved, your spiritual half, will not see the faults in the other person, nor the mistakes, because the mistakes do not define us, right? And it's about through our atonement, which we learn in A Course in Miracles, in my spiritual book club in my School of Light, that teaches us that we can truly begin anew, and we can start a fresh new beginning. And this all begins by accepting what happened in the past, and through atonement, asking for forgiveness, and starting a new way, a new path, new habits that are healthy and in the light. And so when it comes to love, love is blind. True love will not nitpick at the other partner, right? And true love will be accepting of the partner that God has bestowed to you as your companion in this lifetime. And I know there's different varied terms when it comes to love, right? We've all heard the term soulmate. We've even heard the term twin flame, and simply life partner, or husband and wife. And yet all of these terms have something in common, and that's that this bond is unbreakable. And we all want that, right? We all want this transparent intimacy. And let me tell you that love has no labels. When you found the one, which let's just label the one as the huge label of what we're seeking, we have made it in life, and we have achieved all that we basically were seeking in the first place. Because a little secret of all of us, and I can see through all of you, because you can't deny that this is not your number one desire. Everyone desires to have a partner that is just for them, right? We all want that one person that's just for us. And I know it's not about possessiveness, but we all do want someone that we can confide in, someone that will be loyal 100% and faithful from day one, someone who will be our best friend through the thick and thin, someone who will be with us through sick and health, right? Through illness and health, through the good and the bad times in our life, through the ups and downs. Because with our partner, we will be able to overcome all of these obstacles that much easier. And that's why in the Bible, God blessed Adam with his Eve, right? And if you see the metaphor in this, that Eve was made from the ribs of Adam, they are literally from the one merged into the same soul, into two separate fleshes. And that's the kind of love that should feel like the one. That we feel like we're literally born from the same fetus, from the same egg. And this is from the egg of God, of the divine, because we're all divine children. And, I feel like the number one cause of actual loneliness in life is not having this kind of love in our life. Me being a very, very romantic person, and always, this is what made me fall in love with psychology, right? Was this concept and illusion of love. But this illusion is possible, is what we need to believe. It's not just in the stories, in the fairy tales, in the movies. No, it can actually come true. But it really is dependent upon every single individual. And that's what I want to bring to you today, is this spark of hope, and inspire you to keep looking for this love and not stop and not give up by not closing your heart. Because every time that you close your heart and put your walls up when it comes to love, then you are basically blocking your own self from finding this potential. And you will just know it, right? You will know it, because it will feel like a miracle. It will feel new. It will feel like nothing you've ever experienced before. And if you've already been in relationships, if you've already dated, then perhaps it's going to be a completely different kind of person. Because let me tell you, if you keep dating the same kind of person, what makes you think that the next same kind of person is going to work out? So this is where also people kind of need to let go of their expectations of what they think love is going to look like, because ultimately we don't know. Ultimately, we need to surrender to our destiny, and we need to open ourselves to something new that maybe we've never experienced before. And in whatever way that may be, I promise you that once you give it a chance and take that leap of faith, it will surprise you, and it will take you as if by a miracle. And I want to also, bring in another quote by William Shakespeare, which actually he said, "The journey ends when lovers meet." And that's a powerful quote, because being that William Shakespeare was born in an era where there was a lot of spirituality needed to be hidden, right? And it was all expressed through Botticelli's art, which I'm bringing Botticelli today, and I'll let you know how. And Shakespeare through his poetry, and other Da Vinci through his art. All of these different artists in this moment, they all had different ways of expressing this spiritual truth in different ways. So obviously we see here that William Shakespeare was talking about the spiritual journey. And he was saying the spiritual journey ends when lovers meet. And why is he saying that? He's saying that because you have to be already at the peak of your ascension of your spiritual journey to be able to meet your true love. And that's what I'm talking about here. And this also kind of ties in with my Lightworker University presentation. Because at the beginning of our spiritual journey is the awakening, right? We awaken to our purpose, to what life is really about. We awaken to faith in God. And then after we've done our healing from the past, what happens next? What happens after the death of our ego, which needs to be let go of? Because if there's any speck of ego left in our soul, this is going to repel this high vibration of spiritual love, because spiritual love is of the highest self. It's a soul-to-soul connection. So this is why the awakening needs to take place first. And that is what I'm talking about what 2020 has been about. Many people have been awakening individually, and this is preparing them for this love. So what happens after the death cycle of the ego? We experience this rebirth of our soul, our true soul. We have discovered who we really are inside, because again, a true love partnership that is a transparent kind of intimacy and completely vulnerable, they must know your soul, right? That's the only way to have this transparency. But in order for them to know your soul, you need to know your soul first. You need to know who you are first. And this is what the awakening is about, and hence moving and transitioning into the rebirth. Rebirthing into this new you, that's the true you, the real you. And this higher self that is going to be embodied in physical flesh is now capable of meeting your true half, your true one, your true beloved. Because after the awakening and the rebirth, we experience the metamorphosis. And this metamorphosis is when we start merging into our fullest potential, as well as our union with our beloved. Because this eventually will bring us into this kingdom of heaven, living here on earth. And this is also symbolic of the mission being completed, right? Because a lot of mission work is very involved when it comes to spiritual love. And that's a whole other topic. But I will briefly give you a sneak peek. I have a program coming up to teach you more about that in 2021. It's going to be called the Spiritual Business Development and Success Program, provided by my Lightworker University. This is the next program to purchase after a new you, because only then will you be more prepared and understanding of what is it that needs to take place so that you can attract this high vibration of sacred union. Because this sacred union is blessed by God. And knowing that, there's no fear, and we all we have to do is surrender to divine timing, to divine plan, and to divine order. And so when William Shakespeare said that at the end of the journey occurs when lovers meet, he was speaking truth. Because lovers meet when you've already done your inner healing, personal growth and soul journey. And that's where I come in, because I am a soul coach and I help you with this soul journey, with this transformation and with this transition, so that eventually you can get to this high level. Because this kind of love that I'm talking about today, you must be at the high level. And we need to transcend the 2D victimhood mentality, the 3D materialistic mentality, the 4D purgatory mentality, that you don't know where you're at, you're confused, you're still learning about yourself, you're still discovering who you really are, and you're still unsure of trusting in God. Only when you get to the 5D and above dimension are we able to attract this high vibrational love. And the reason is because it's a frequency. Energy works on frequencies, and love is energy. So if we see love this way, as the pretty red roses as we see here on this table, a red rose is an energetic vibration, right? Because you smell that beautiful red rose and you smell love, because it smells so delicious, right? That's why they make so many colognes and perfumes with the scent of a rose, because it has this certain symbolism and message to it. When anybody wears rose or receives a rose, they're saying, I am love, or they're saying, I love you, or they're saying, I'm passionate about my life, or I'm passionate about you. They're saying, I am worthy of love. They're saying, I am beautiful. This is about self-love as well. And so love is energy, because we can all vibrate this energy. And by us all vibrating at this love frequency, we will all heal spontaneously, miraculously. And that's this message of hope for 2021, because, you know, I know there's been a lot of fear when it comes to relationships, of course, what's happening in the world. But being that it's a love show, there has also been a lot of fear and breakdowns in love partnerships. And fear is not going to get you anywhere. Because like A Course in Miracles teaches us, you can't live in both fear and love. It's completely impossible, because they're complete polar opposites. It's like black and white. You can't be both. You can't be a gray shade. And no shades of grays allowed here. You must be in the white, in the light, for you to experience this higher self and this love, this unconditional love. And this unconditional love is available to all of us. And that's the beautiful thing about love, because it doesn't matter who you are in the exterior, what you have monetarily, what your position is in the world. None of that matters. What really matters is our soul. So all of us are capable of this highest vibrational kind of love. And everybody wants this, because most wars, most fights, most anything is always caused by some war in love, right? It's like the battlefield that love brings out of us, because we all want it. But that's the irony, because if you want love, you actually have to get out of that vibration and surrender to God. Surrender to your love, your destiny when it comes to love, your own personal fate. And we can't change it, but we can only ride on it. And we can definitely move forward on that path and keep arriving to our destiny, like The Alchemist, the book by Paulo Coelho. Definitely a book I recommend you read, because that is the journey of love as well. It's a journey, sometimes a long one, sometimes a short one for some. But these people who had a more short journey, they had been doing the works in previous lifetimes. So all of us have to do the same amount of work. So we can't compare ourselves to other couples or to other people, because it's all about you, and it's you versus you. So focus on how you can attract love into your life, and how you can attract your one beloved this new year. And the more I promise that you stay in these positive affirmations and positive thinking when it comes to your beliefs on true love, you will attract it. Believe that you are a king and a queen and that you are worthy of this true love. Sacred union is on the horizon because it's time. Okay, so now let's just sit back a little bit and let's get a little extra guidance today from heaven. You know, like I do my daily morning spiritual guidance in the Spiritual Counseling TV network, I do it daily, and every morning I come up to give you this positive high vibration and inspiration for your day. And I want to get some I want to get some spiritual guidance for this entire new year, 2021, when it comes specifically to love. So let's get ready now to accept and receive this guidance. And thank you, Heavenly God, for being here with us and blessing us with this opportunity of this love experience this new year. A beautiful message. Love is abundant. Love is the gold that is of the highest worth of all. So knowing this, why is love not your priority, is one of the guidance for today. And let's begin then. Okay, so we have the Nine of Pentacles for today. And this is a woman in grief. You see, this is grief holding us back. And this is also the long journey. The coming of the ship, right? I have been talking a lot about this journey in my spirituality retreats, in my Body, Mind, and Spirit Health and Wellness website. And we need to be willing to let go, because I feel like we're carrying too much of a heavy baggage from the past. And this is about the completion of cycles. You see, the Nine of Pentacles is the completion of a cycle. In numerology, number 9 is the completion of a cycle. So we need to complete whatever ties that we've had from the past and either cut them away, say your goodbyes, and move on. And if it's not reciprocated, that's where you write your forgiveness letters, right? Your release letters. Because you can do these and let go of any ethereal attachments, because believe it or not, that is real. And that will hold you back. Especially, for example, let's actually talk about this, because I was actually going to talk about this as well. This is a huge theme, and I want to say concern that I've seen among the collective when it comes to the word ex, right? We've all heard of that, the ex, and many people have many exes. And let me tell you that when it comes to this spiritual love, you know, no exes are allowed. And the reason being is because an ex is a reason. An ex is an ex for a reason. Think of just the word ex. Why whoever labeled the ex-partner the ex, doesn't the word ex have such a negative connotation? It's like it's not allowed. Danger, right? Beware, because it's not going to work out the second time. And that's kind of like how I see it. It's like a no crossing zone, because that's what it is. You know, if it didn't work the first time, it's not going to work again. And I've seen this all too much throughout my years in couples therapy. And it's sad to see how people waste away their years trying to make something work that it didn't work out the first time. So when I see couples, for example, and especially this is why I actually do a lot of premarital coaching, because that's the thing. A lot of people really need to be sure before they get married that they are with the right person, right? You don't want to wait till it's too late after you're married and then think about this. Am I with the right person, right? Because you've already made that vow and that commitment. And if you don't take that vow and commitment seriously the first time, then not only is that kind of showing bad character, but what makes you think that the next time you're going to be serious about it? So what I'm trying to say is that we need to take our commitments more seriously. And I'm not telling you to be in a commitment that you're not happy, but I'm telling you to be wise from day one to to make sure that you're marrying the right person. And whether this is just a relationship that's not at that level yet of engagement and marriage, regardless, the exes didn't work out for a reason. And nobody wants to enter a relationship in which one of the parties or the partners is still in a relationship with an ex-partner, whether that be through friendship or through actual, let's say it what it is, because in the modern world, a lot of people believe in like friends with benefits, or maybe they are undecided if they want to be in a relationship or not. Maybe there is some unfinished business, and this is this unfinished business that needs to be let go and dealt with, because that's a major blockage for this spiritual love. No doubt about it, right? Because just think about it. Ex and spiritual do not go in the same sentence together. And, I know it's harsh to hear for some, but let me give you a little knowledge here when it comes to relationships and maybe some codependency, why this stems about. Because I see that this is a major reason why people return to past relationships, is because they're afraid of being alone. And maybe they don't return to the same person, but maybe another syndrome is when people start serial dating, right? They stop dating someone and they immediately start dating someone else because they just can't deal with being alone. And let me tell you that that's a very huge mistake, because in this solo time, and I'm not telling you to be single forever, but I am telling you to really do your inner healing, because maybe you didn't actually spend your single time the proper way. And this is why I can't emphasize my A New You Tell Me Soul Coaching program enough, because this is the program especially for those singles out there, for people who are in unhappy relationships and want to start again, a new chapter. That's the program for you, because I walk you step by step through all that needs to take place first before you can be ready to move on to a new relationship. Because if not, the same patterns are going to resurface and the same problems are going to keep manifesting, and then that's again the same cycle over. You break up, you find someone new, or you break up and you get together again, and then you break up and you get together again. And that's a cycle, a recipe for disaster and a toxic cycle, right? And we don't want to be in these toxic situations, because this new high vibration has no room for anything toxic. And let me tell you that even toxic, the word toxic, can even be in our own emotions. So you really need to get over the past. And I see so many people as well, not being able to let go of people as well, because they don't set their boundaries correctly. I've met a few people in my life who still had, for example, their exes coming back around because they didn't know how to say no. And that's a huge other theme that I talk about in my A New You program, because you need to know your worth, and you need to love yourself enough to stand up for your self-respect. Because this love that we are seeking, that's true and spiritual, will respect you from day one, and will also respect your desires. And true love will respect someone's wish if the love is not reciprocated, right? Because that's another theme when it comes to love, unreciprocated love. And I've seen that a lot too, and that's a sad story. But let me tell you that you are more worthy than this unreciprocated love. Because if it's unrequited love, then that just means that it's not for you. And by you staying stuck in that illusion, this actually says a lot about how you feel about yourself. Because you're keeping this suffering going by continuously staying in love with someone who doesn't love you back. And that's not spiritual love, because like I said from the beginning of today's show, a spiritual love partnership is obviously mutual, because you're one with the same soul, and their soul recognizes each other. So if you haven't yet found that kind of love, that you see them in the eye and you feel like your souls are talking to each other, then it's okay, because there's still time. And maybe you just weren't ready. But I promise you that if you strip yourself away and come bare to the divine and say, I am ready for you to give me whatever it is that's in my destiny, God will. But you need to trust in this surrender, and you also need to trust in divine timing without expectation, because if you expect to do that and then see it like within the next month, you'll be surprised, because God's timetable is always so unexpected. I've learned this the hard way, that I can't put any timetables on God, because ultimately God knows best. And so if you really want to attract this highest vibration of spiritual love, make sure that all ties with the past are cut. And of course, the only people in your life that should be around is your family and your close friends, right? But making sure that even your friendships are also high vibrational on all levels, all the time, because these are also relationships that we connect to, right? This is a different kind of love, because friendship is also love. We love our friends, we love our family. But of course, it's a different kind of love, but it will affect the romantic partnerships that we attract. So we always need to stay authentic and be willing to stand up for our self-respect, no matter who it is, because that will determine your future when it comes to romantic love. And we want to ensure that we have the best love, right? The one love. And so don't hold yourself back by staying with these ties. So it's like one by one, you need to keep crossing these gold coins and picking up the remnants and healing yourself, kind of like coping with whatever happened in the past, heartbreaks, and telling yourself a different story about it. Because many of the times as well, that's what gets in the way, right? We tell ourselves these stories about why these partnerships didn't work out, or why love doesn't work for me. And those are negative stories, right? And those are actually repelling love. So you need to be willing to shift the story around. That's a little bit of therapy here for you. But that exercise is really going to change the outcome when it comes to you attracting on an energetic level with the universe this love that you're seeking. Okay? So keep that in mind then. Closing out these cycles so that we can attract true abundance. Only gold allowed, right? Okay, and let's get another guidance. Okay, and now we have the Knight of Pentacles. So see, we're moving up. When we let go, we move up and we're ready to take action. We're ready to be approached as well by an offering from this spiritual love, from the universe. Because I feel like this white horse represents something very pure, very innocent, very angelic. And this is what's also going to propel us to experience naturally more abundance as well. Because this spiritual love is going to be also in mission with us. So naturally, we're going to experience abundance all around. And everything is going to just flow just more easier, more naturally. And now we have the Hanged Man in reverse, which this is about letting go of procrastination when it comes to this healing that needs to be done, and taking this action, waking up from your slumber throughout all of these years of attracting these same kind of partnerships that haven't been working, that most likely have been superficial. And when William Shakespeare says love is blind, think about it. When it comes to infatuation or when it comes to lust, that's not love, we all know that. But it can be blind, right? And love can be blind because love has nothing to do with the external, right? It has nothing to do with how someone looks or what they have. Love is internal. So that's where I think he was getting at, that love is blind. It can be interpreted in so many levels. But those are the interpretations that I'm getting for today specifically. And, I also and I was just thinking of this energy, the 10 of Cups energy, the 10 of Chalices, and we have it in reverse. And this is Mother Mary. I really love this deck because this is Botticelli's work, his artwork, put into this deck. And there's a lot of symbolism in his artwork, right? And he brings a lot of Mother Mary and Jesus Christ into his artwork. And this is about re-nurturing ourselves, right? Because Mother Mary represents this loving, nurturing energy. She nurtured Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ was this walking, living embodiment of unconditional love. He was an enlightened being. He was at the top of his spiritual journey because he was already from up there. So this is the level that we all need to reach for us to be able to reach this new cycle, right? Because number 10 is the newness that comes after the completion of a cycle. It's the fresh new beginning. But there still needs to be more love nurturance, more compassion with self, with past situations, and with your entire life in general. And this takes a lot of honesty, vulnerability, and healing. So again, that's where a new You Tell Me Soul Coaching program comes into play, because that's what's going to help us to transcend. And then we have the 7 of Pentacles at the bottom, and this is about rebuilding our future, rebuilding something more spiritually based, also working on our mission, because the 7 in numerology is the spiritual number, something spiritually based. And these two people are working hard. This is an innocent little angel here, and this is a grown-up woman returning to innocence as well, and being willing to do the work, right? No longer carrying these burdens, but now planting the seeds of newness, new love into our life. Because the past has been exhausting. So this is also about resting. This is this restoration and this reset that we're all experiencing as we enter 2021. We will be experiencing a lot of rejuvenation because, yeah, we've all been through a lot of tower moments, and we've all been through a lot of surprises, right? Worldwide, but also on a personal scale. Things taken away from us, losses experienced, things needing to be started over, but it's always for the best. And whatever emotional turmoil that you've been experiencing this year, you need to let go and be willing to start this newness, right? Start from the bottom again, right? Because when it comes to love, when it comes to attracting the spiritual love, it's kind of like starting again. And some people actually get lazy to do that. And they're afraid to do that, right? Get back out there and start from square one. Meeting someone again for the first time, especially if you're older, and especially if you haven't done it in a while. Many people have been married for many years. Many people have only been dating one person in their life, and they were in a very harmful relationship throughout all those years. And then when they're free from that relationship, they don't know how to start again. That's another issue that can come up in love. And so, wow, we got the Lover's card. How do we get to this again? It's through purification. Because in this deck, the Lover's card is actually in a field of like beautiful flowers, but also the ocean. And the ocean represents purification. We need to be able to purify ourselves from any negative emotion attached, from anything that harmed us in the past. And know that we're worthy. We are a queen and a king, worthy of true love, because this is what's standing in the way of a lot of people. Self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, right? And this Lovers again, these two look actually like twins. They look exactly the same. Same hair color, same facial features even. But of course this is metaphoric. And this is telling us, this is two angels. It's angelic. It's the most purest of the highest above. And it's blessed. And we are all capable of this. We need to manifest this by setting our intentions and working at it day by day through our affirmations, through our mission work, and that's how we attract this love. And praying, right? We got the 6 of Pentacles, but in here, this woman is praying, doing her rituals, and believing, trusting in these miracles. So let's get one final guidance for this year of 2021. Wow, we got the Empress. This is an amazing card because this card represents fertility. It represents harvest. And it also represents our worth, right? We're sitting on our throne and we're patiently awaiting this love. Patiently and gracefully. There's no worry because we trust in God. And of course, this number 3 card, which is a major arcana, is the alignment of body, mind, and spirit. What a perfect way to end today's show because this is what it's needed. You need to hold your wand and know that you are deserving to be treated the best. And this partner of yours, this love from day one, needs to be pure, needs to be gold, needs to be pure, and needs to be abundant, right? It just needs to vibrate at this highest vibrational kind of level. And this is also very synchronistic because the highest of all of our chakras is the higher chakras, which I'm going to talk about in an upcoming book in 2021. But this is represented by the auric color of gold. And again, this culmination of reaching that chakra is our ascension journey, reaching the peak of our spiritual journey. So like William Shakespeare said, the journey ends when lovers meet. So if you want to meet your spiritual lover, then make sure to complete your spiritual journey first, your evolution of your soul journey. Experience this evolution of your soul journey. So this is the theme for today, so that we can attract the sacred love into this year 2021, or at least beginning to get to know each other in 2021. Because remember, a love union is not overnight. And I'll be talking more about this in my Couples Therapy Talk Show weekly at the Spiritual Counseling TV network. So make sure that you become a member and also of my School of Light this new year to get a lot of this new knowledge and information for your newest best life ever. I'm only here to help serve you and be your light and your inspiration for this new year and for your entire life. My name is Christie Ramirez and I am your soul coach. Thank you for joining me for this year's 2020 The Love Show, the Holiday Spectacular. Namaste.